What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to get some work done on my 05 Honda Element. Recently picked this up about 2 months ago and been daily driving it. Want to start working on things here and there to get it a little bit more comfortable and a little bit better of a daily. About a month ago I had to replace the clutch master cylinder and slave cylinder. I used the K-tune unit. That fixed my pedal falling to the floor, and it's been great ever since. But now I think it's time to move on to other components. Went ahead and reached out to Maxpeedingrods. We're gonna try out their coilovers today. These are the T6s. We're gonna give these a run and see how they feel on here and how they work. Now, when speaking to Maxpeedingrods, they said that the front is probably gonna be lower by about an inch. The rear, I might be able to maintain stock ride height. Regardless, I'm gonna try it. If I have to lower it about an inch, that'd be okay. I just don't wanna slam it, but I do want to have a better setup for the suspension. I don't know what is on here. It might be original, may have been changed at one point in its life. It's 230,000 miles on the chassis. Let's get started today. I've never worked on suspension on an Element. I can't imagine it's going to be a lot more difficult than some other cars I've worked on. So let's get this off the floor. Let's see how quickly we can get these on and take a look at it after we have it set back down. Now, when looking at the suspension, it does look relatively easy. First, you have the outer tie rod that's connected to the entire strut assembly. You have your brake line, which is also connected to it. So it looks like the reverse side is a 12 millimeter. You have nut and bolt combo. There's two of those, top and bottom. Looks like maybe 17 and 19. And then on top, of course, you have your three. 1, 2, and 3. That should remove it. Let me try all of those and see if that works. So that was actually very easy to get removed. Everything that I had said was correct. These big bolts ended up being a 19 on the bolt and a 22 on the nut. My tie rod was a 19, and of course the 12 for that brake line, and then the top was 3 14s. It came out very easy. The only thing I'd recommend, make sure you support the lower control arm. That way the axle doesn't pull out. It just gives it, keeps it up in the air. That way if it was allowed to drop, it may pull out. Granted, the sway bar end link is still attached. I don't know if it'll let it drop much more, but I'm not gonna risk it. So I went ahead, spun the bottom off of the coilover just to see. And it's obviously longer right there, and it's completely off. I'm gonna thread it down. I think I'm gonna need at least like an inch of thread inside the cup, maybe a little more. I can see the threading. It goes down maybe halfway. There's not an indicator letting you know what's safe, but I imagine at least like an inch to 2 to be safe. We're gonna get it on here and kind of see how close I can get it to almost stock height. All right, so what I did here, put the cup on, did 16 complete rotations. So what I did after that to kind of measure the distance, I bottomed this out. This is now spun 16 rotations up, and it's about a good 1.5 inches in there. Let's check. And more like 1.25. 1.25 inch into the cup. I think that's fine. We're just gonna tighten this up as much as we can. It looks kind of close. Might be real close for the height. Maybe a little lower, but we're gonna run it like that. And then leave this one where it's at. We can't really adjust that anyway. And let's see how that goes. I'm thinking, very end, like what I could also do is potentially just buy some lift spacers, put those on top of the coilover. Let's give it a shot. So let's get this one installed. Let's get the other one installed, and then let's get to the back, and then I'll get you a final look once it's on the floor. One really cool feature on these is that they have camber adjustment at the top hat. So it's nice to be able to do that if you need to change your camber. Say if you slam your element and you want to change the camber up, this is a good way to do so. Or if you even lift it and it kind of adds some positive camber, you can adjust it here as well. All right, install was just as easy as reverse. Not a difficult task at all putting these on here. I imagine doing quick struts is just gonna be exactly the same. Let's get the other side knocked out. All right guys, so I wanted to test with the Maxpeedingrods on. So after getting it down on the floor, I drove it back and forth a handful of times over this bump here. I like to do that, let the suspension settle for a moment. Let's measure it. From the floor to here, it's about 29 and a half. Just want to go in and get it set up. Sorry guys. 29, almost 29 and a half from the floor right to the middle of the wheel. Let's measure this side. Driver's side. So from the floor, 28 and 3/4. So it actually raised it a little bit, which is great. I mean, I'm trying to maintain this ride height. So 28 and 3/4, 29. I'm gonna actually probably spin the coilover down about another, I don't know, probably another 1/2 inch at least for sure. That'll be really close. I'm just gonna measure it out. It's almost like 3/4 inch, the difference from the 29 and a half to 28 and 3/4. So I'll probably do it like right there at almost 3/4 of an inch. And that way I just feel a little bit more confident having even more thread at another 3/4 inch of thread in there. So a little before, measuring the rear now, we're about 30 and an eighth, looks like, from the floor to the fender. To get the top out, of course you need to get your seats lifted, and there's just a little plastic cover you can pry from the bottom. That'll expose the top of the rear shock assembly. The rear looks similar to my wife's 2015 CRV, the way the trailing arm is bolted up. You have the one bolt down here, looks like a 17 millimeter the head. I'm gonna start with that. You may have to, I don't know how we'll get it out. We may have to remove a sway bar to maybe drop the arm a little bit more. I don't know, I'm just gonna start with that 19 there and I'll let you know how I got it out. So the bottom bolt was a 17. The two top ones are 14 millimeter nuts. Looks like it's kind of stuck in here. I was fiddling around, there's not really any room to get it out. I think I'm gonna drop the front where the trailing arm meets the body. It's two 17 millimeter, easy to get to. They're right here. That way I can pull it down, and maybe I can have the room to pull it away. Those two are, excuse me, those two are easy to remove. And then, do I have enough space now? I can wiggle the back end out. I'm gonna try it and see if this works. So that worked. I just needed two hands. I put my left hand here, kind of wiggled it down, pulled it down. It opened up enough room and I was able to drop the strut out completely. So the back, there's a lot less thread just based on the design of how these are made for the Element. I was able to, I'm gonna try it here. This is how much I have it spun down. There's 10 rotations already, leaving maybe like a little less than 3/4 inch. Just spin this down and tighten it up. Now, the reason I spun this up is I wanted to show you how much it was into the cup. We'll have to see how this lines up. It looks like it's a little lower than the top hat. And this is kind of straightened out here. Bushings are nice. Looks like they spin pretty freely on the rubber bushing in here so that way you create less bind. Maybe it'll help prolong the rubber bushing that's surrounding it. But I like that it'll rotate when we tighten it up. So we're gonna give this a shot and see how this looks and how it fits with those wheels back on there. Another part that Maxpeedingrods offers is a rear camber kit for this vehicle. Mine just showed up today and it's kind of perfect timing. I'm gonna get them installed while I'm back here. I finished up the coilover right now, but I'm gonna throw this on. This just takes the place of that. I'm using a set of these on my wife's 2015 CRV that I installed sometime between the last 6 to 8 months, and they've held up really well. This will be perfect because I want to get the car aligned. I want to talk about something with the front wheels once I finish all of the rear suspension. So my original upper control arm, it doesn't have this little bracket on it. This normally was on here, so I just went and pulled it apart. I'm gonna remove it. If yours is holding on to something, it'd probably be best to leave it on there, but mine does not, so I'm gonna take it off and spin this back down, get it as close to possible as stock, reinstall it, and let my alignment guy take care of the rest. So for the passenger side, you don't have a big box back here, so it's a lot easier to just get this dropped and wiggled out. You shouldn't have any problems with this side. All right, guys, I just finished it all up. I have the suspension set, the rear coilovers. I went up 10 rotations to give it a little bit of room. The front is the same. I've been waiting to put on some new wheels and tires when I got my suspension set up ready. These are some 17 by 8. These are Wed Sport SA90s. They're 17 by 8 plus 35. The tire is a 215/65. So this tire size is like 0.1 bigger than an OEM tire size. I wanted to keep it as close to stock as possible. I love the way it looks clean. I just wanted the all-terrain tires on here. I went with some Nexen Rhodians. I think I paid like $550 for the set. Read a bunch of good things about them. I figured I'd try it out and see how they do. I like the way they look too. Really cool looking wheel. I went ahead and measured. Let me get this out. Yeah, this tape measure sucks. So this one in the rear, it's about 30 3/4. Driver front now, it's about the same, 30 3/4. This one, passenger, sitting at about 31. It's like a 1/4 inch higher. This one back here, it's about the same, 30 like 3/4 again. So I have it sitting pretty well, just a little bit higher on this passenger side that I can adjust that. Now the thing I was talking about with it seems to have thrown. See how this one seems pretty straight still. This tire, you can see it. It's obviously, it's turned in. Look at that. It's very obvious right there. And I noticed it from the minute I put it back onto the ground. The tire, the wheel is straight. And when I drive it inside here, you can hear it like squeaking on my floor. So I don't know if that has to do with maybe the positioning. I put the old ones out here already. Maybe the positioning on this piece that connects to the tie rods, maybe it's a little bit different, like the angle of it, so it might be throwing it off. All of my old ones looked fine. These look like they were replaced, like I saw it on the back of one. Yeah, this, I don't know, I can't see what it says, OE Spectrum. So they must have been replaced at some point in their life. The rears, also it has like a different, maybe OE Spectrum in the whole brand. They seem to be in good shape still. There's no leaking, but they were okay. But regardless, we're trying something new. Looks like this bushing is kind of sliding out a little bit. But maybe that positioning is off a little bit. So regardless, I'm gonna get it aligned. That should take care of my issues. He can adjust the tie rods, reset it. He can also adjust the camber. I think it kind of pulled in. Not really. I can have him just set camber to factory settings back here. And then the front, I can show him how to adjust him if he wants to play around with that. Maybe might not need to really do much there. But overall, pretty simple to install. Wasn't too difficult. The parts seem great. We're gonna have to see how it rides now. Like, you know, usually coilovers generally ride a little bit more stiff. I have them on full soft. I spun them all the way full soft in the rear, and in the front I did all the way full soft and then 6 clicks back towards stiff. We'll see how that feels. I'll report back after I get it aligned, and I'll talk about it in a future video. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today. Thanks Maxpeedingrods for tagging along on the Element project, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.